switch my clock on so that I don't go over. Okay, it's on. Wow, this is just amazing. I think we are making Oxford webinar history. There are thousands of you connected each hour, so that's just amazing. So thanks to Oxford, and also a big thanks to you for attending and making all this possible. Yeah. Now, I've got three things just to repeat. As Tracy said, there will be a handout for everybody, so you don't need to copy anything from my screens. You will get this as a handout. There is a video, so if any of you have any glitches with your internet, don't worry, you can watch the video afterwards. And lastly, questions. I will try to do the questions. I'm not going to answer them as we go along because there are so many questions that I don't want to stop. Okay, so I will answer them at the end. Now, teachers asked yesterday about activities. Okay, we're working at primary level, but a lot of the activities are applicable to secondary students, and a lot of them I've actually used with university students and adults. Yeah, okay. So I've been in education for 30 years now, but I have to say that the most fun and fulfilling role I've been doing for the past 12 to 13 years, and sometimes a difficult role, is as a mum. Yeah. And so Oxford have asked me to talk to you today about some strategies for parents, and also strategies that I've used when working with parents. Okay. So I'm going to move on to my first slide. Okay. Yeah, this is me during lockdown. I have a lot of empathy for parents who are dealing with a language, English, which they don't understand and they don't feel confident with. Okay, this is me. But it's not about English. It's not to do with English. It's to do with maths. Okay, maths is like a foreign language to me. I'm okay with times tables, addition, but as soon as things get complicated and look a bit like a scene from the film Beautiful Mind, like this, then I start to run in the opposite direction. Yeah. And for me, numbers were never meant to go with letters. Yeah. So it's always been a problem. And really, a lot of parents are saying, but I don't know any English. And my cry is, I'm terrible at maths. But you see, parents can just make a positive influence by being positive towards education. It doesn't matter that they don't speak English. Yeah, just showing interest in what their children are doing is good. I tell my son, "Oh, you're much better than me at maths. Explain it to me." Yeah. So I try to make a difference by just showing an interest in what he's doing. Now, I encourage parents and other caregivers, maybe grandparents, aunts, uncles, to become like the child's cheerleaders. Now, teachers were asking me yesterday, what do you mean by cheerleader? I mean someone who is in the child's corner and is praising them and is behind them. It doesn't matter that they don't speak English, okay? So, what I do is I tell parents that from the beginning. It doesn't matter that you don't speak English, because you need to understand just how important the mother tongue is when learning a second language. Dr. Jim Cummins talked about this. He was talking about children who were living in the L2 situation. But actually, a lot of this is true for children in the EFL situation. He said when parents and other caregivers, so what I call cheerleaders, for example, grandparents, are able to spend time with their children and tell stories or discuss issues with them in a way that develops their mother tongue vocabulary and concepts, children come to school well prepared to learn the school language, so English and also the mother tongue, yeah, and succeed educationally, yeah. So how can parents give that support? Well, cheerleaders, they can support the children and help them become critical thinkers in their mother tongue. They can talk about what they can see around them if they go out for a walk. This is all in the mother tongue. words that they can see written on signs and labels. What can they hear? What can they smell? What does something feel like? How does something make you feel? Yeah. Or what does something taste like? So mindful eating. Yeah. So one thing I go back to in the Jim Cummins quote is time. Okay. That's the thing that just finding time. And I know at the moment it's very difficult for parents. They're working from home and they don't have much time, but it's something that's completely free. Yeah. And for me, I say, even on a stressful day, just listening to a song, okay, parents say to me, oh, they can sing in sentences. Yeah, because they're listening to songs in sentences. So it's motivational for children and parents. Now, one of my favorite quotes about parenthood is this: spending time with children is more important than spending money. And in this consumer world, it's important that we remember that. Children seem to want lots of things at the moment, but it's just important that we spend time with them. Yeah. So, who can spend time with them? Well, the cheerleaders, okay, they can be grandparents, aunts, uncles, older siblings. Now, I know at the moment with the pandemic that we are separated from older members and from members of the family, but they can still telephone. Yeah, so they can still speak. Now, grandparents often have a lot of time to listen when parents don't. And they enjoy their grandchild teaching them too. Yeah. I remember my son teaching my mother Spanish, and I remember him being absolutely delighted that this old or this adult who is they see as being very intelligent, he can actually teach them something. And my son still remembers these lessons now, and he's 12, nearly 13. So, what can I say? The power of praise. And that is where the cheerleaders come in. Okay. This is something that I say to teachers all the time on my courses. One of the most important things a teacher can do is to send the pupil home in the afternoon, liking themselves just a little bit better than they came in the morning, or at least not hating themselves because they couldn't understand something. Now, I reverse this for parents. I translate this for parents and I say, can you send the children to school feeling happy in the mornings? Now, I'm a mom. I do the school run, so I understand we've got to get homework in the bag, breakfast sorted. But I do, as we're driving to school, I do some PR before school to get my son motivated. So I'll say, what have we got first thing? And he says, history. And I say, wow, you love history. You love Mr. Or if he goes, oh, French, I say, but you're so good at French. Yeah. So I always try to put a positive thing on things. So I should have warned you. I am the eternal optimist. Okay. This is me 30 years ago in my first year of teaching. Yeah. And what would I tell my 21-year-old self? Well, I'd say, you'll be really lucky to be in 2021 and something will happen in 2020. But don't worry, because you'll have this thing called the internet, which you don't know about yet, but you will do. And in our current situation in 2021, it makes resources available and it makes us it makes it so much easier to contact parents and children. Thanks to the internet, we're global. Thanks to the internet, okay, we can compare and share with colleagues from around the world, just as we're doing now. I would also tell my 21-year-old self, don't worry. In 30 years' time, parents will actually understand the importance of knowing another language. Because at this time, I was hearing a lot, parents telling me, telling the children, you don't need to know English. I don't know English and it's never a problem for me. luckily now we need English and another language. So what I do is I set up a session to speak to parents and the child, or the child's cheerleader, grandparent, or whoever, and I explain how I'm going to support them. Now, you must remember that parents, or most parents, are not teachers and never wanted to become a parent. Sorry, never want to become a teacher. Of course, they want to become a parent. They never want to become a teacher. And so online, I tell them how I'm going to support them. Or if we're back in the school situation and we can have a safe meeting, I would explain to them in person. Okay, so the key is it's important to make parental involvement not seem overwhelming. Yeah, parents need to see it as maybe an enjoyable thing. And I let parents know that I'm available. I say to them, don't suffer in silence. Yeah. If I don't know, I can't help. Yeah. So chatting in the parents' WhatsApp group is not going to, yeah, you're brilliant. I will answer some things now. Okay. So, don't suffer in silence. Now, it would be helpful if the cheerleaders had access to a computer, a tablet, or a smartphone. I say this because we need to be prepared for everything. This is our current teaching situation, depending on where you're living. Okay, at the moment in my school, in my school situation, the children are in school with face masks, and the teachers are with face masks and social distancing, and maybe some of the class are having to quarantine for their own health or for a member of their family. Some children might be online. All the children may be online, depending on where you're working, and you'll have a learning management system maybe set up. There could be editorial links to online books and Loom videos, which I'm going to explain about in a minute, so don't panic. And then some children may have the situation where they've got no internet, or the internet is not reliable, and we're depending on WhatsApp, Viber, or a similar application, phone message videos, and conversations with parents, phone conversations. So these are the situations at the moment. Now, if you have an online ebook or e-activity book, then that will be helpful for parents because they'll be able to follow their children's learning, and it will make things a little bit easier. Yeah. So what happens at the start of a topic? Well, usually we learn new words, don't we? And a year after I started teaching, a book came out by Tim Murphy, and something that stuck in my head from the very beginning was, with young children, language divorced from action seems to be mostly forgotten. So from the outset, I used to teach language with obviously flashcards and actions. Yeah. And so I will teach the children some actions with our new words. Now, some new research came out last year, and it was really gratifying to me because it substantiated everything I believed in 30 years about teaching new vocabulary. With pictures and actions, new vocabulary can be learned for up to 6 months. So just imagine what happens if we recycle vocabulary. So I'm going to show you something now. I'm going to show you a video, and this is a video with actions for the children to learn at home. So Tracy, if you can put the video on, I will. Okay, thank you. So if we go back to the slides, okay, isn't Animoto fabulous? Yeah. If you don't know this application, it's free. You can make your own videos and you could hear the music. There is a library of free, royalty free music that you can add to your picture videos. Okay. So Animoto is great and I would suggest that you look at it. Okay. Now, one of the most difficult things at the moment for primary English teachers is that, at least in my context where we are, we're not allowed to sing in class. Just for safety measures. And so in class, we listen to a song and we do the actions. And what I do is I send home the singing for home. The children have the music and they have a video. Yeah. And I explain to parents the importance and the benefits of listening to music. It's not just a bit of fun. Yeah. It is fun, but there are real reasons why we do it. Songs teach language easily. They're catchy and memorable. And because they're catchy, something that Murphy talks about, songs stuck in the head phenomenon, happens. It's when the last song that you hear gets stuck in your head and you sing it all day. So you got that experience, like when you get out of the car at work and the last song on the radio? If we add actions and TPR, then it makes the language transparent, and songs are fun and lift the mood. Children like music. Okay. So this is what I tell parents. I often have to tell colleagues this because some of my colleagues just think I'm all singing, all dancing all the time. And I have to say, well, there is a real educational reason why we sing in English. Okay. So what we're going to do is listen to one of the songs that I do with the children, and you're going to join in with the actions. Are you ready? The actions from the Animoto. So I'll switch.
I like biscuits and strawberries too. I like grapes. How about you? But oh no, I don't like eggs.
I like sandwiches and milkshake too. I like eggs. How about you? But oh no, I don't like cake.
I like carrots and sandwiches too. I like cake. How about you? But oh no, I don't like biscuits. I like strawberries and carrots too. I like grapes. How about you? But oh no, I don't like milkshake.
Okay, so the children, this is a song for younger children. You could use a song for older children and send it and the students choreograph it. Yeah. So let me just explain things that you can do. Okay. First of all, they teach the song to their cheerleader, whether it's a parent or a grandparent. And I always try to find actions. Now, if you can't find actions, if they're not suggested or you can't think of an action, I go to Signing Savvy, which is an American, it's for sign language. Now, some of the words are signed, so we obviously the children don't know sign language, but some of the actions are really useful. So I realized that I was going soup in class, and then I was saying salad, and they're a little bit close. And so I looked up salad on Signing Savvy, and salad is like this, like tossing a salad. So it was very obvious then, soup, salad. Yeah. Now, in what the children can do is they can practice at home, they can learn the lyrics, they can dress up, they can make posters, they can use props. we make a microphone and the children sing along to their microphone. And then I ask the cheerleaders, whoever it is, to video the performance and send the video that we can watch in class or we can watch online if we're online. And I give everyone a certificate for their effort. So well done, video star, awarded to Jimena, signed Vanessa. Yeah, and the handout is available if you would like that. It's actually in handouts. So everyone gets a video certificate. Yeah. Now, another thing that parents can do is to listen to the stories in whatever book the children are doing and follow it with the children. So we're just going to listen to 1 minute of this story because it's a story you know very well. Okay, so Tracy, if you can put that on, that would be great. Okay, Tracy, thank you.
It's story time. I know this story. It's called Little Red Riding Hood. Do you know it?
Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood is going to see her granny and meets Mr. Wolf.
Good morning. What's your name?
Little Red Riding Hood.
Where are you going?
To my granny's house. I've got some bread, cheese, milk, juice and cake. Oh, and strawberries.
Okay, right, thank you. Right, back to the slides. So it doesn't matter what the story is. It could be for older children, yeah? And afterwards, the children can discuss which food is not in the story, but it could be the language that they know in the story with older learners, yeah? And they can decide what their favorite part of the story is. Now, this can be discussed with the cheerleader in the mother tongue, because for me, if the children can discuss what they like best, then they've obviously understood the English. Yeah. And so I think that's a good thing. And also any cheerleaders that don't speak English feel as if they can join in. Yeah. So this is something I mentioned before, Loom videos. Here we go. We've got in class, we've got masks on, and this creates a barrier between the children and us. And as we're teaching a language, it's important that they see our mouths. So I would say that at home, you could make a Loom video. And a Loom video basically is without the mask, and you have the PowerPoint there, and you are like me now speaking. And so you can present new language and content and stories in class. And also they can be viewed at home, yeah, and you haven't got your mask on. And if necessary, you could do them bilingual for parents at home, yeah. Now, investigate Loom. It's free and really easy to use. I'm not the best person with computers and I can use it, okay? Now, some of you may have seen I made 8 videos. I did them at home on my computer during lockdown for parents and children, yeah. And these are on YouTube. I put the links at the very end, and I act out the stories. And as you can see, this is what a Loom video looks like. You've got your PowerPoint of your story, and then a little insert of you, yeah, explaining. Could be a song, it could be a story. Okay, all I want to say about these videos are I did them in lockdown, complete lockdown. So you can tell we were in lockdown. All I can say is that in lockdown, every day is bad hair day. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you're watching the videos. Okay. Now, this is the next thing, is let the children explain the English to their cheerleader. Yeah, if they can explain the story that they've just listened to in English, I think we can assume that they have understood. Yeah, and anything in the book that says tell your friend or tell your partner, this can be done with the child's cheerleader. Yeah. Now, I'm lucky because in Learn With Us, we have English at home actually on the page. So the children know what to do at home. And so this activity is present your project to your family. And the children have Tom presenting the language. Okay. If you could, we'll just watch this for a short time. Okay. Tracy, if you can put the video on.
Hello everyone, this is my sandwich project. First, I've got some lettuce in my sandwich. Then, I've got some cheese and tomatoes and ham. I haven't got any peppers in my sandwich. I don't like peppers. Next, I've got some sweet corn in my sandwich. And last, I've got some mayonnaise. Delicious!
Okay, so it's useful to have a point of reference for the children. Now, if you haven't got a video like this, you can make your own Loom video explaining what you want the children to do and how to do the presentation. So this is something that you can do with Loom, yeah? Now, one thing I encourage parents to do is to join the Oxford Parents part, which it says help your children with English, and there are lots of materials there for parents to access, and I'll explain those in a minute. One little warning here is if the parents sign up, remind them to keep their username and password somewhere safe, so that you haven't got the parents saying, I can't remember my password. Okay. So that's just one thing I would say about this, about signing on to the Oxford Parents. Now, the thing about that is that there are lots of things available to them. I say to parents, you could let the children label things around the house. Now, Oxford have made all these flashcards available. Now, the flashcards are the normal flashcard size. Yeah, it's A5. But then we can make very small versions, which are about a quarter of the size, to stick around the house so they're not too big. Okay, and they can do shapes around the house. Children can do colors, objects, all the things in their bedroom, lots of things that they can label around the house, in the kitchen, in the all the furniture. And it's just a point of reference in English. Now, another thing that's been really popular with parents is the Oxford Owl. Yeah, and Oxford has made all their readers available online. They're all different levels, different subjects, non-fiction, fiction. Yeah, okay. And they've been very popular with parents. I would say a good place to start is to start small. Yeah. Start in one place. So I suggest that parents maybe access the poetry book. So this is a simple one, family poems. My sister is 2, my brother is 3, Sam is 4, and then there's me. Another one, 6 in our family, 2 hamsters and a cat. Here is a picture of us in our flat. Well, this is a nice one with really nice values. My brother. I have a brother. His name is Paul. He is 9. He's very tall. I fell over and hurt my knee. My brother Paul looked after me. So it's really nice there. There are siblings looking after each other. But I think this is a great thing, because with just one poem, the children have done something complete. And if they read 8 poems, they finished a book, which is a great confidence booster for the children and for the adults with them. So I would say start small with the readers. Okay, so we've looked at stories and words and songs and putting up words around the house and readers. And we can't forget play, yeah, games. This is my favorite quote about games. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And George Bernard Shaw, this was the playwright. Now, he lived until he was 94. So does this mean that he continued playing into his 80s? I certainly hope so. Yeah. So I think with all the other activities, it's important in the children's mother tongue to explain to the caregivers, the cheerleaders, their parents, the importance of play for children's brains and their thought processes. By play, I mean everything. I mean using feely bags, boxes, dressing up, making dens, sort of stringing up sheets across the sofa. That's making a den. People were asking me yesterday, doing art, music, dancing, using puppets or toys. This is all really important in the children's brain and thought processes. So I stress that to teachers. Now, Rosinta has mentioned scavenger hunts. When it came up, I was like, wow, in the questions. For me, topic-based scavenger hunts are ideal for the home situation because we can't necessarily do it in school, but at home they can go and do it. And it might be the letter B, or it might be clothes. And what I ask the children to do is to take a photograph of everything they've found and send it to me. Yeah, some children actually make a video. So they'll say, like, here are my boots, here's my hat, a scarf, and they video themselves putting everything on. But I must admit that when we were in general lockdown and one of my son's teachers sent a scavenger hunt, I thought, oh, thank you. Yeah, because he was up and moving and not sitting down and writing all the time. So the maths teacher did it, and all the different teachers did it at some point, not in the same week or it became boring, but he was up and he was doing things, and it was something we did together. Because he'd say, where have we got? And we'd run around the house and have a bit of fun. So scavenger hunts are fun. Another thing is Kim's game. Now, we can take all the things from our scavenger hunt and do a Kim's game because it's based on a topic, or we can find other things. So here is some plastic food because we were looking at food in the story, but it could be anything else. And the children just need a tray or a tabletop and a cover. And here we go. So there are 8 objects. Okay. Now I'm going to cover them up. Okay. Now, can you see what's missing? It's red. Okay. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. A strawberry. Great. Now, cover it up again. Can you remember? What's different? What's happened? Yeah. And so we change the focus. So it's still Kim's game, but we may add something different. Yeah. And I tell the parents of the educational value of this also. It works on observation skills. So at the lower level with children, we're working just on vocabulary. But when you think about it, if the children are observing what's missing or what's extra, then when we get to the writing, the children will be able to see that maybe a letter is missing from the word. So I say, there's something missing. The S, likes. Yeah, great. So it helps us to become more observational. Yeah. So Kim's game is fun, but also it's educational. Yeah. Now, one of my son's teachers used to send long lists of vocabulary to learn. Yeah. And it got very boring because he had to copy out the word lots of times. So I decided to change it at home, and we'd play something that we called Run, Run, Write. And so I would set up stations around the house with just some colored pencils and some paper, or a chalkboard, or a whiteboard, a tablet, or a laptop. And then one of the stations was with felt pens, which he was so excited about, because in school he wasn't allowed to use felt pen because it came through the page. And what we would do is we'd look at the word, he'd write it on the teacher's paper once, and then he would run around the house and write the word in different places. And then when he got back, we would check the different places, and he would get a prize. So maybe an extra 5 minutes of TV, or a sweet, or something like that. Yeah, so that's Run, Run, Write. And I've done it many, many times with my son. And it does make the writing process a little bit more interesting, especially the lists and lists of vocabulary. Another thing is charades, okay? And the children can act out the words for somebody to guess, yeah? You can revise language, so you can revise single words, like objects. You can revise verbs, which is a good one. You can revise simple sentences, so we can go to sentence level, yeah? And so, right, I'm going to do one for you now. Are you ready? I'm going to do a sentence. Are you ready? Okay. Right. Oh, can you see that? Okay, can you guess? Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I love cats. Yeah. So you can do it at sentence level, and you can do it on screen, as you can see. Yeah. Now, another game, some of you are asking about older children. This is a great game for younger and older children, and for adults. Yeah. Bingo. So I know that you know bingo, but I've just put this website on. If you didn't know it, it's free. It's called My Free Bingo Cards. You can make them for in the classroom, so you can make paper ones, but you can also do online ones for up to 30 players. And it really is a fabulous website. So if you didn't know My Free Bingo Cards, here it is. And actually, I have a friend whose 6-year-old granddaughter lives with her during lockdown, and she organizes bingo night on a Friday. It's Family Friday bingo night, and she teaches the words in English on Zoom, and then she plays bingo with families around the country, with her family. So it's a good one, bingo. Okay, another thing is to play a card game. Now, Oxford have made all these mini cards available for you, are free for the parents as well, or you may have mini cards in your course book. I would suggest that you send home a list of about 5 games, and the explanations in the mother tongue, so the parents know how to play, and then the children teach the words and they play the game. Okay, now this is my favorite. I'm going to get everything ready now. This is my favorite mini card game. Okay, so the children have the mini cards with the words on, and we put paper clips on the cards. Okay, and at home they can make, I'll sit back, can you see this? They can make a fishing rod. This is with just a rod. This is actually from a feather duster with some paper, with some string, and with a magnet. If you see, this is the typical magnet that's on a kitchen door. Okay, and so what the children do is they have to fish the word. Can you see that? Yeah, I hope that's clear in this window. Now, this is why it's my favorite game. Is you can fish at word level for pictures, or sounds, the b sound. You can fish for words, the written words. You can fish for pairs, so word and picture. You can also fish for verbs, so the verb and its irregular past form, for instance. And the reason why I say I love this game is I've used it with children from 3 up to adults. I've used it with university students. We fish for words to be used in a sentence. Just imagine how interesting phrasal verbs and their meanings become when we're fishing them. Yeah, I've used it for phrasal verbs and for words and their synonyms. Yeah, so it's my favorite game. Okay, and I will explain things later on if you need any more explanations. Now, another thing that I do with the children, if in their books they have a role play, which they can listen to online, then I get them to practice it with their cheerleader. So, Tracy, if you don't mind, could you play this?
Excuse me, can you tell me the way to Buckingham Palace?
Yes, of course. Turn right, go straight on, go past the hotel and turn left. The palace is on your left.
Thank you.
Okay, so the children can practice, yeah, and they could practice with their friends on a video call if they wanted to, but it's very useful, and the parents like joining in with these kind of activities because they feel that they could be learning some English themselves, yeah, which is good. Now, another website that I use a lot is EdPuzzle, and Tracy mentioned at the beginning that I did my flipped learning training a number of years ago, and EdPuzzle was introduced to me then, and it's just fabulous because you can have a Loom video, which is yours, or you can use YouTube or the Khan Academy or TED Talks. You can edit the videos, so you don't need any extra editing materials. You edit the videos into maybe 1 minute. You can do voiceovers of your own voice if you think that people are speaking too quickly, like me. And you can ask the students questions, which they answer online and get feedback. And they can be multiple choice, they can be open-ended questions. And you can also put in either written notes or audio notes, which you can do in the mother tongue for the caregivers, yeah, for the cheerleaders. And it's a great, now somebody asked yesterday, what happens where you send the link to the children or you put the link to the EdPuzzle on your learning management system, okay? So that's how that works. Now, another thing that I just wanted to talk about was the whole idea of well-being, because at the moment in the press, I don't know about in your country, but they're talking so much about our well-being as adults and the children's. And for me, exercise is all in there for me. This Latin of mens sana in corpore sano, healthy mind in a healthy body. It's all to do with the neurotransmitters dopamine and serotonin, and those are activated when we're active and we move about. Now, Joe Wicks, a British trainer, put lots of PE classes on, 1 a day, onto YouTube for children to watch around the world, and they did. The parents can go to settings on YouTube and they can watch it with subtitles in English to help. Yeah. Another website which is great is GoNoodle. I don't know whether you know this website, but at the moment they've got a thing about managing frustration. This is the website for children, managing frustration. Another thing, they've got meta meditation for children about wishing themselves good and nice things. Another thing, they have fun dance routines, children can dance about. And another thing for older learners with their parents, there is high velocity 20 minutes exercise for those parents who are missing the gym, and they can do it with their children. So they are two great websites. Now, one activity that I do with children at the start of the year is we make a class chain. So the children write their name and decorate it on each link. And then we make like a wreath, yeah, to show that we are united as a group. This is in class, okay? But at home, Oxford had this lovely idea on their website. It's called a kindness paper chain. And the children individually at home, they make the paper chain, and each day they add something that they can do at home to be kind. Yeah. And so it might be help, one might be help mom, help dad, help grandma, tidy up, say please, thank you, do things together like play a game, watch a film, do a jigsaw together. And one thing that's really important for me is hug each other. Yeah, hugging. Now, cheerleaders can add and write a link. It doesn't have to be in English. The cheerleader could do it in the mother tongue. It's just as meaningful. Yeah. So that's a nice idea. And they could decorate around the house if they wanted to. So I just wanted to mention about hugs. Do not underestimate the power of hugging. Yeah. Okay. Parents sometimes need reminding about this. So my mother is saying to me, "You're so lucky you can give him a hug," and she hasn't been able to for a year now. Yeah, so remind the parents they're in their children's bubble and they can you hug them. Now in school we can't do high fives at the moment, so we're doing virtual high fives or a pat on the back. Again, still a problem, but I say to the children, okay, if you got that correct, give yourself a pat on the back. Or if you worked really hard, give yourself a pat on the back. But hugs are really important. Okay, family therapist Virginia Satir said we need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance and 12 for growth. Now, it may seem like a lot of hugs, but aren't too many hugs better than not enough? So, if you're a parent, hug your children all the time because it's great. And tell your parents. I know it sounds silly to say tell the parents they're able to hug their children, but it's just a great thing that we can hug our own children, which is fabulous. Now, I am going to try and answer your questions now, but I just wanted to leave you with this one quote. I've been using this so much at the moment. This gentleman, Machona Liwayo, I hope I'm pronouncing it properly, Liwayo, he's a modern day philosopher, and he says, "One friend in a storm is worth more than 1,000 friends in the sunshine." Well, I have to say that this last year has been the biggest storm I've had to ride. Yeah. I hope that I've been a friend to you today. And don't forget that Oxford are always there to be friends for teachers. And now what I'm going to do is in your handout, you've got some other ideas to find free resources. You've got my 8 videos and you've got the bibliography. And I'm going to go on to your questions. Okay, Rosinta, yes, you play a scavenger hunt. Great, you see, great minds think alike. I when I saw this come up, I was thinking, oh gosh, she's going to see in a minute that I'm going to mention a scavenger hunt. Should I let parents do that, or should I ask them to stop? I would say I think it's something that the children can do on their own, which is good. So when the children are older and are more responsible, yes, but it's actually a nice activity to do together as well, to work together. Okay, which kinds of activities are best for students around 11 to 12? Stories, songs, but at a different level. Yeah. I asked the 11, 12-year-olds to come up with a choreography for songs. Yeah, so when they're acting out, they're doing their own choreography. They're maybe not singing, they're doing their dance. Yeah, they all love YouTube, so that's something that they find easy. I feel kind of frustrated about the rapport part. Yeah, I think it's just if we find things that the children like in the end with a story or a song, then that is useful right now. what is the name of the song? It was the food song. Yeah, it's from Learn With Us 1. Many to teach a mixed class in a different. So you mean different age groups or different levels, Hugh? I don't know. If you answer, I don't know which levels in. Do you mean different age groups or different levels in a class? If you can just write that, I'll answer it in a minute. Yeah, we don't get to speak to students' parents, but we could set up groups to speak to them. Yeah. And also, if you use something like Google Classroom, in the private chat, the parents can also ask you questions as well, so that not all the parents can see, but in the children's private chat, they could ask you questions as the parent. What age can we teach children through stories? From any age, I would say as soon as they start. Tracy mentioned that I do English. The children in my Zombini classes are 0 to 3-4 years old, and I even do stories with them. Yeah, so I start stories very young, and I do stories way up into adults. Yeah, it just depends on the story. You find the best story. Yeah, right. Yes, Loom is great with bilingual support. Yeah, I think we can add the other language to the video. Yeah, especially if it's a comment, a side comment to a parent. Okay, yeah. Okay. The reason why the children in my class knew cats. So that's the action that I teach for cat. It depends. So Valeria, it depends what you teach for cat. Do you go meow like that? I don't know. It all depends on the actions that we teach. Okay, so that's the thing. Smile, yeah, or cats, but it doesn't matter. It depends on the actions that you use with with your children. Obviously, I'm talking to a big group with you now. Okay. uh, Yeah, I think for younger children, there needs to be a quick change over of activities. I think if we're doing a story, then we move on to questions, and then there might be some downtime where they're playing a game. Yeah, there needs to be, with the younger children, there needs to be a quick change of activities, and they can have some of the online. We can put links to an online game that they play, maybe with their parents. Right, how to behave with the calm boys. Do you mean the quiet boys? Well, it depends on the age group, because some children get quieter as they get older and they get more embarrassed. So that's the thing is it because they're older and they're a little bit more shy and subdued? I'm not sure. Yeah, Thuda, if you write it, I will answer. How to encourage adult learners to participate. Oh, yeah. Well, really, if it's for adults, not for children, not the parents, I guess. Seema, are you talking about not parents? Yeah, you're talking about adults. Well, I think we've just got to leave it up to the adults. They are adults, and so we can encourage them to do it, but we can't force them, can we? Yeah. Yeah, I think any Kadian, I hope I'm spelling it, I hope I'm saying it properly. I think anything that explains to parents how we're working is fabulous. Yeah, if you're explaining, then they understand. Remember, as I said before, some parents are not teachers and didn't want to become teachers. So anything that helps them is a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, Cecilia, how can they help? Well, they can let the children teach them some English, which is great, and the children feel really empowered when they do that, because the children know some English, no matter how little English they know, they maybe know more than their caregiver. So yeah, that's the thing. If they only let the children teach them, if the caregiver doesn't speak English, it's not a problem. And you explain to them that this whole explanation and negotiation between them, between mother tongue and English, is great. Okay, I'm conscious of the fact that I might not finish everything. Okay, right, wait a minute. How to motivate the students for online class? Well, they need to be connected for a start, and so we can check that they're connected, and if they're not, we can check why not. Yeah, and then I think it's just, if we're more upbeat, that's the good thing, and they want to come. If we do an activity that they like, they'll want to be there, Bikash, I think. Yeah, I think so. You're asking about that approach. I'm not sure, Luis, but most of the approaches I use with university, I work at the university as well, and I use a lot of these with my students. You know, I even use like Pelmanism. You know, we've not looked at it today, but you know, finding the word in the picture, and I use it with university students. Okay. Okay, if the parents are passive, can you find a cheerleader who isn't passive? Fitria, I'm not sure. If you can, that would be great. Now, I think I've answered all your questions, but if not, as Tracy very rightly said, you can email me, you can contact me on my blog, which is on okay.
I do apologise.
No
Sorry,
problem. It's